Hello, family. How are you? We are right now we're still in Greece, but now we're exactly in the area of Korinthos. Corinthians. You may have read in the Bible about the book of Corinthians. There are 12 epistles, including 1 and 2 Corinthians. The Apostle Paul is interesting because, according to Scripture, he stayed here for a year and 6 months. And he stays here sharing, teaching a lot about the initial growth of the people on this side. Something interesting caught my attention. What catches my attention is that sometimes there's confusion, and I want to help you with this. I want to help you understand this confusion. Now I'm going to show you where I'm going. I'm crossing the street, maybe because there are fewer people on the other side. There are many people here. I'm going to cross the street to show you the canal, because right now I'm at the Corinth Canal. And we're here with the group at the Corinth Canal. But I want to cross the street. Let's go. Look, there's the traffic. There goes the traffic. Huh? And I'm waiting here. Crossing the crosswalk. This crosswalk. In some countries they call it a zebra crossing. In others, now we're going to cross. I already did the shopping, got the souvenir from the place, and nobody lets me cross here. Friends, let me cross. I'm recording. I've run out of battery. Hey, nobody lets me cross. There's no way to do anything here. You know what? Should I jump over now? Here I go. How are you all? How's it going? Ready? I already bought it. Look, we're making a video here. How are you doing? How's it going? You have to come to Israel and not to Brasilia. Not Brasilia. No, we speak Spanish. Spanish Mexico. Not Mexico. Not Mexico. Not Mexico. Not Mexico. Not Mexico. Not Mexico. No, not Mexico. No. It seems Mexico is the most famous, so it looks like Spanish is only spoken there. In Mexico. Well, look, he tells me you look Mexican. You know, nobody believes I was born in Argentina because of my skin color. Everyone says no, you're not Argentine. You're either Colombian or Mexican or Panamanian or Peruvian. In fact, they even told me I'm some kind of Malaysian. Everything except Argentine. Argentine and Israeli. That's really strange, isn't it? Well, look, I tell you that I'm native. Blonde people in Argentina, with all respect to blonde Argentinians, are all Europeans. The real ones. Us. The ones from over there. Okay, look, here we are. This is the Corinth Canal, 8 meters deep, 90 meters high, where we are standing right now. On that side that you see where the water is flowing is the Aegean Sea. And in the completely opposite direction over there is the Corinthian Sea. This was a very important port in ancient times, and everyone wanted to conquer this port. And they wanted to connect it, and the way to connect it was by creating this canal. This canal was created many years ago, and since then, notice that the vessels can cross, but it's like they connect, it's like a narrow two-way street. If a boat is big and can pass, there are yachts here, they can pass, but the one on the other side will have to wait somewhere, waiting for them to cross. It's several kilometers long, but I don't recall the exact distance. I'll leave that as homework for you. You can look it up on Wikipedia, but I gave you some information. The important thing is what I was talking about here, which is the biblical historical fact. That's what we came to explore and investigate in this place. And that's exactly it, huh? About the Apostle Paul came here. He stayed for a year, we said a year and 6 months sharing in this place. About the message, about the gospel, he was sharing in this place. Here he meets Aquiles and Priscilla. They had come from Italy. They were dedicated to exactly the same work that Pablo was dedicated to. They were tent makers. That is to say, what Pablo did was create a partnership. Listen carefully, here I am speaking in business terms. Pablo was a businessman who worked and was bivocational. He didn't live only from the church or gospel, though he received offerings and help. With that help, he supported newly established churches, the first concepts of congregations that he was creating, that he was starting, and those were the ones to whom he was sending letters to encourage them. And at the same time, he also sent them financial help through the brothers from different parts of the world who helped him so that he could deliver that help to other people. So, Pablo, being a businessman, he looks for a way to connect with these two businessmen who were dedicated to exactly the same thing. They form an alliance, start a business, and partner up. There, among them, a partnership. And he stays here in Corinth for a year and a half. Here the community begins to grow, but the community that begins to grow. And that's what I was telling you at the beginning of the video, trying to help you understand this. Because many believe he was angry with the Jewish people. And he said, I'm tired of the Jews. From now on, I'm going to the Gentiles and never again to the Jews. Although that's what happened in Corinth, it wasn't what happened in general. Pablo had a very clear understanding. He wanted to preach the gospel first to the Jew, then to the Gentile, focusing on the Jewish people. That's why here, what we see in the book of Acts, chapters 16, 17, and 18, is a repeated way or method of preaching the gospel. He was very systematic, always going to the synagogue where Jews gathered. He would stay and teach them, discussing the Messiah and the fulfillment of the prophecies. And he would testify about how he, as a Jew, as a rabbi, had accepted Jesus. And that's where miracles would accompany him. He says there was power and miracles every time he gave an explanation and a teaching. That it wasn't just a talk, but there were miracles happening. That happened in Philippi, Thessalonica, and Berea. And then he has to go to Athens. He shares in Athens, and in Athens he has a very special situation. Which I will talk about later when we get there. Now we're heading to Athens. We're going to go to the Areopagus. We're going to climb to the great city, to the Acropolis. And we're going to explain to you a little bit about what we're going to experience there. That's why this video is going to be really interesting. That will be in Acts 18. But before that, after being in Athens, we're told that chronologically, he comes to Corinth. And while he's here, he starts preaching to the Jews. He goes to the synagogues and begins to share with them. He talks to them for almost a year and a half. He starts talking. They didn't want to receive anything from the Lord or accept him. It was like they were very stubborn, as the scriptures say. They are a stubborn people, as it is written in the book of Ezekiel. They didn't want to receive the Lord. And so what the Apostle Pablo ends up saying, listen carefully, he says, the blood is on you now, it's over, the blood of this is on you, I'm not continuing with you anymore. So, he ends up getting tired of preaching to them and talking to these people, and finally he says that he is going to the Gentiles. Many people believe that because of that version, or because of that explanation, or because of that anger from the Apostle Pablo toward the Jewish people, he completely shut himself off, which made God angry with the Jewish people and never again with them. The reality is that the Apostle Pablo did get angry with the Jews, but with the Jews of Corinth. Not with the Jews of the world, nor those in Thessalonica, Berea, or Ephesus. Because the Bible tells us that he later goes to Ephesus again, and then finally he goes to Israel, and he continues sharing in Israel. He is in Caesarea Maritima in Israel. And after that, finally, after having spent 2 years in prison, he ends up going to Rome to finally be judged before Caesar, because he had appealed, not lost, to be judged before Caesar. But it's not, and I repeat that the Jewish people lost the privilege of hearing the good news. Only Corinth, where after giving them many chances and opportunities, he finally said no more. He stopped insisting, and from then on he said, you know what? From now on I'm going to share with the Gentiles who are here in Corinth. The Gentiles weren't his main priority. It's not that he lacked interest in them or that the gospel wasn't for them. It's just that he was focused on preaching to the Jews outside the territory of Israel. Why exile? What is the diaspora? But then he made a sort of pause, and then, when he came back, obviously he continued. He kept preaching to the Jews, not just in Ephesus, but also in Israel and wherever else they appeared to him worldwide. From here, we are going to go to Corinth, the ancient city, the place of the Agora, the main square, the place where he shared with the people there, where he was sharing with all of them. So I'm going to show you in another video what we have to keep learning here, in all this territory, on this very special journey of traveling through the lands of the Bible. As you can see, this little bridge moves a lot. It moves all over because vehicles run through here, and this is like a kind of metal they put around here. Aluminum, maybe sheet metal, I'm not sure. Now I'll turn the camera around. Yeah, I'm gonna cross the street again so you can see a little bit from the other side of the canal. Here we go. Well, I have to cross the street again here, but this one's easier. There are fewer coming from this side than from the other side. Look at these dresses. For the women who like dresses, they're really beautiful. Beautiful. Well, I'm going to cross. Hello, 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 hello. Part of the group is still wandering around here, taking part in the photos. From here, we took about 20 minutes to take photos of the canal and everything. Okay, look, there it is. Now, we saw both sides. We saw the Aegean Sea side on one side, and this is from the other side. The Corinthian Sea, and this is the Corinth Canal. Okay, something happened over there. I missed it. We missed it. Look, you can see the movement of the water, like an engine just passed through there. It must be right below us now. Alright, family, let's keep going. Now we're heading to the old Agora. Here we go, family. Like I told you, we were going to bring you here to the Corinth area to see the antiquities. We're going to give you a toast there. A brief explanation about the site and the short stay. Did you see the Apostle Paul being here in this place? Short stay is one way to put it. Because actually, here was almost the longest period that he stayed during the Greek period at the Greek site. What you're seeing there is one of the oldest temples in Greece. We were told it's 500 years old. And up there, that's already part of mythology. That's where the Temple of Aphrodite was located, the one we just saw. Let me go back. That's Apollo, the Temple of Apollo. And up there, the Temple of Aphrodite. It is said that according to Greek mythology, there were 1,000 young women, beautiful ones, because she was the goddess of beauty. And here now, later on, we are going to keep walking around here. We are going to arrive at the Agora area. The Agora is the main square where everyone gathered and where teaching took place. And of course, it was the place where our respected Apostle Paul shared with the people. We are going to have a little time of Bible teaching here. And we keep recording you.